Uh, this is a tough one. Really, honestly, this series, good luck. Both St. Louis and San Jose have shown weakness at points during these playoffs. Both teams have looked like they're down and out. Both teams have come back and proven everybody wrong. Um, St. Louis did it during the regular season as well. San Jose had their down points during the regular season, especially towards the start. Yeah, this should be fun. And when you look at the records, 45, 28, and 9, 99 points for St. Louis during the regular season, 46, 27, and 9 for San Jose. So 1 win difference, 2 points difference, 101 points for San Jose. San Jose has home ice advantage, but St. Louis has been devastating on the road. The good news is San Jose's been good at home. So yeah. St. Louis hasn't been great at home, but San Jose hasn't been great on the road. I don't know. I bewildered as to how to call this or predict it. St. Louis had 2.62 goals per game coming into this series for the playoffs. 2.54 goals against per game again in the playoffs. Whereas San Jose 3.07 goals for and against. Of course, their goals against still inflated from the Vegas series. Their goals for kind of inflated from that series as well. The series against Colorado was definitely more of a nail biter, game by game, and still the wide open game is the San Jose game, and the really in close quarters Colton Parayko's probably going to knock you down game is on the St. Louis side. I'm favoring St. Louis because St. Louis was a team that at the start of the playoffs, I did my bracket. I picked St. Louis to go to the Stanley Cup Finals. That's the only part of my bracket that hasn't been completely annihilated. That's it. So I'll stick with St. Louis. Now, here's the interesting thing. I've taken St. Louis in both of the first two series. If you watch the preview for the Dallas series, I said my heart wants to say Dallas, my head says St. Louis. Meaning, I think St. Louis wins the series, and I picked St. Louis over Winnipeg in round one. San Jose, I picked Vegas over San Jose. I picked Colorado over San Jose. Therefore, we've got two teams I've been wrong about and two teams I've been right about. Of course, the interesting thing about that is that you've got Carolina, a team that I was wrong about twice, against a team I was right about twice in the East as well. So, one of those things, it's one of those oddities. So, I'm going with the team I've been right about twice. Not because I'm cheering for or against. I don't really think I'm cheering for or against anybody in this series. I can find reasons to say it would be great to see either of these teams win a Stanley Cup because 1967 and all of the storylines with San Jose as well. All of the players who've played for a long time in San Jose, and nobody really talks about Couture. Everybody talks about Thornton, but Couture's kind of been a warrior too, and be all right to see him get a Stanley Cup ring too. Now, these teams have met 3 times in the regular season. I always talk about this, but I felt in this series it was a little bit weirder. So, November 9th, it was a 4-0 shutout win for St. Louis at home. Chad Johnson had that shutout versus Aaron Dell. November 17th, it's a 4-0 shutout for San Jose in San Jose. Aaron Dell had the shutout versus Chad Johnson. So, those games mean absolutely nothing because they're so early and the goaltenders involved have nothing to do with this series. Then March 3rd, or March 9th, I should say, it's a 3-2 overtime win for San Jose. Martin Jones gets the win versus Jake Allen. So Binnington never played San Jose. So again, that could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. It can go either way. If San Jose destroys them, people are going to say, well, Binnington didn't do his scouting on San Jose, and if San Jose gets shut out by Binnington, people are going to say, well, that's what happens when you're not familiar with a goaltender. That can happen. So, really, either way. Now, when these games are going to get played, Saturday, this series starts. Then Monday, Wednesday, Friday. There's no matinee games until Game 5, if needed, would be a matinee game next Saturday, so May 19th. And yeah, it's been shown that the Boston series, Game 1 is tonight and Game 2 is on Sunday. So there is no hockey tomorrow. I would like to repeat, tomorrow night, there is no hockey. It is a Friday night. There is no hockey tomorrow night. It's just such an unusual occurrence. Since October, there's always hockey. There's no hockey tomorrow night. I know during All-Star break, and they have a few days during the year that they don't have a game on Monday or on a Thursday because they want to squeeze 15 games onto Saturday and 15 onto the day after. Anyways, yeah, so this series we're going to see the one extra day off, but not for a while. Actually, no, there is no... I'm just trying to think. No, there isn't one. Unless that goes further and they need an extra day off. I always don't like that extra day off because I keep thinking, great, the Stanley Cup's getting awarded another day later. And another day later. Is it going to be July and another day later? This year hasn't been as bad as some. Some years it seemed like there's a lot of extra days in between games. And we're going to be awarding the Stanley Cup in maybe August. Now, scoring leaders for each team. Jaden Schwartz, 8 goals and 3 assists, leads the way for the Blues. Pietrangelo, 2 goals, 9 assists. Ryan O'Reilly, 2 goals, 7 assists. Colton Parayko, 1 goal, 6 assists. San Jose's about to find out what Dallas did. Parayko, guy's a house out there. Perron, 3 goals, 3 assists. And Tyler Bozak with 2 goals and 4 assists for the Blues. On the San Jose side, Burns, 5 goals, 9 assists. Hurdle, 9 goals, 5 assists. Couture, also with 9 goals and 5 assists. Carlson has 12 assists, and the fact he hasn't got a goal yet is starting to become a storyline. Meyer, 3 goals, 7 assists, and Nyquist with 1 goal and 7 assists. Gustav Nyquist, the numbers don't show it, but he's been getting better as the playoffs have rolled along. Hits leaders for St. Louis, Braden Shen, 38. Blocks shots, Pietrangelo, 24. And your shots leader is Tarasenko with 47. On the San Jose side, your hits leader is Timo Meier with 52. Block shots is Burns with 38. And your shots leader is Tomas Hertl with 54. So, the overall numbers, yeah, you could argue it either way. You could say, well, San Jose, has scored more and scored, seemingly at will in some games. But you could argue, well, St. Louis is the better defensive team. And San Jose isn't going to get away with that this round. On the goaltending side, Jordan Binnington, 8-5 in these playoffs. 2.39 goals against average, .915 save percentage. And like I said, he's never played the Sharks. Jones, 8-5, 2.72 goals against, .910 save percentage. He's 1-0 against the Sharks, or 1-0 against the Blues, but he's never played Binnington. And Arundel, 0-1, 3.35 goals against, .861 save percentage. The goaltender of record the first 2 times these teams played against each other this year. So, it's a weird series. And again, I very, 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 very barely give this to St. Louis. St. Louis knocked out the Jets in 6 and the Stars in 7. Their power play at 17.1% was stymied badly by the Dallas Stars. Their penalty kill, 75%. San Jose, on the other hand, 18.5% power play. There has to be an asterisk because 4 of those goals came on what essentially is the same power play in that infamous Game 7 against Vegas. Their power play did not perform particularly well against Colorado. Their penalty kill, 80.8%. So if either of these teams can get their power play going in the third round, unlike where they were at in the second round, this series could absolutely favor whichever team's able to do that. And for people who say you don't have Tarasenko on the board, Tarasenko has 5 goals, 0 assists for 5 points. Tarasenko, honestly, with 5 goals in 13 games played in the playoffs, has been kind of disappointing for me offensively. He's kind of left me wanting more, and maybe in this series he really gets it going. Maybe San Jose allows too many chances. One thing to watch that I noticed in the Game 7 against Colorado is watch for guys skating around Carlson. Watch for that puck to get pitched past Carlson and then guys go around him. And hopefully in this series, if you're a Sharks fan anyways, you're saying hopefully Carlson gets some of that figured out. It makes life more difficult, not just for Carlson, but for the Sharks in general and for his defense partner. Whoever's on the ice with him at the time has to be aware that he has that vulnerability, and they have to cheat back a little bit because they know I may be facing a 2-on-1 pretty soon. I got to keep my head up. So we'll see what happens in this series. This is an interesting one. Again, I'm very, very, very... I really agonized over this. Barely giving this to the Blues. I don't know if this one goes 6 or if this one goes 7. We've already seen a whole bunch of Game 7s. San Jose's been in 2. St. Louis has been in 1. St. Louis was almost in another, but they finally figured out how to win at home in Game 6. And we'll see. Does the Road Warrior Blues come in and get the win on the road in San Jose tonight, or not tonight, on Saturday, and then, assert themselves at home for really the first time in the playoffs where they've really asserted themselves at home? I know Game 7 was basically the Ben Bishop show, but if you don't, or if you win one extra one at home, you don't need Game 7. So we'll see how things work out. The Road Warriors versus the team that's pretty fantastic at home. Let me know what you guys think regarding this matchup in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.